So then, NASCAR Dakota, let's talk a little bit about the race, let's talk about some of the top performers, and a couple of the other talking points that have come out from this. Firstly, the race. Well, road courses this year having the stage cautions back, because they did it at the start of last year, has led to interesting strategy takes when it comes to if you go long or stay short. For example, we saw Bubba Wallace continue his run at the top of the stage point standings with a stage 1 win, having taken a long lap penalty early on for track limits. We saw the likes of Kyle Busch or Chase Elliott try to climb back up through stage 2. And then stage 3 we had 5 drivers in contention, you could argue, for the win at the end of the race. As we saw all kinds of drivers coming up and down the field. Only a couple of cautions that appeared more naturally. We had Suarez's spin, which I don't know if it's a lack of holding the brakes or a firing back up or whatever, that meant that Cup Series rookie Colin Zilic got caught in it, and the full Red Bull livery Trackhouse car ended up in the wall and out of the race. Austin Dillon was the other classified non-finisher. He span off into the gravel after being rifled by Denny Hamlin, who appeared to lock up. I was quite impressed that was it Ty Dillon managed to keep going? I can't remember if it was Ty or Austin Dillon, after being hooked into the wall by Cindric at the start line quite early on. And also impressed by Chase Elliott, who did a great recovery after we saw Ross Chastain just send it turn 1, lap 1, George Russell style, and just spin out the 2020 Cup Series champion. In the end, though, the best drivers prevailed, and well done Kyle Busch, man. I mean, he managed to compete for the win. He led the most laps on the day. That 8 team were good on road courses early in the Gen 7 as well. I mean, Tyler Reddick was good. It's part of the thing that, he got announced at 23-11 and then went out and won a Road America. Was it the next week or was it the week before? I think it was the next week he ended up winning. Ended up winning a Road America. And Reddick himself was great. He's been good at road courses. Byron was good. Christopher Bell obviously is the winner. Did really well. But Chase Elliott managed to have a really good comeback in addition to all of that. Shane Van Gisbergen, he did alright. It's his first full-time series. He was competing quite well in the mid to late phases of the race. But yeah, just didn't hang on at the end, which could be expected. There's a few more road courses in the regular season. He should probably pick up a win there. And he's been alright in other spots too. As for the track layout, when I found out they weren't using the East layout that you can see on the video from iRacing, I was a bit disappointed. I really like the East layout and it could be a lot of fun, though I guess the chicane would have thrown up some track limits debates. That said, track limits were a thing that were hotly contested, largely because Circuit of the Americas in other series known as Circuit of the Track Limits, and yet turn 6, was it, where you were setting up for the hairpin off, you could just straight line it. And nobody really picked that up until a couple of drivers did in Xfinity, and then when Cup came in, they were like, oh, you could just straight line it, there's no problem at all. Which was a bit of a shame, but at the same time, it's NASCAR. You got to expect that track limits are yes. I mean, look at when they raced at the Glen, for example. Like, Road America was different because there's, grass. But somewhere like the Glen is a great example of the flagrant abuse of track limits that you can see in a lot of American road course racing. Now, as for the championship standings, Christopher Bell, our first repeat winner, is up to 4th because he got 31st at the Daytona 500. William Byron is back up into the lead after Blaney drops down. He's 2 points clear of Blaney. Reddick is 5 points off of Byron in the regular season standings, and Bell is 21 points back, tied with Chase Elliott for 4th place. Bubba Wallace is in 6th, which is really well done. 94 points, 1 point behind Bell and Elliott, and that's with only 1 top 10 in the season. But in terms of stage points, that's what's helping him out. He's got 41 stage points, which is more than anybody else. The next ones, I believe, are... is it Joey Logano on 37? And then I think 33 for Blaney. Before we then have 31 for Byron. And down on 30 we have Austin Cindric, who is inside of the top 16. And if we were to cut it off after 3 races for whatever reason, Kyle Larson would be the last driver in, Denley Hamlin would be the first driver out. Van Gisbergen's 18th. Interesting drivers are in there. John Nemechek, who very nearly kept his top 10 run going, but one big mistake drops him down to 22nd. Bush is in 12th. Yeah, Cindric with an A for 28th and a 25th. And some drivers who have been all over the place have been able to get good results in the standings. Anyways, those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching and joining as always. And until next time, it's bye-bye for now.